hip openers. So for the hip opener, we'll do the typical one first and then add a couple extras for those of you who really have tight hips or really are just interested in more flexion in the hips. Flexibility, sorry, in the hips. So a couple of really important things to remember. I'll just do it on one side and then show the transition. The leg that you're bringing forward, so if we're opening the right hip, bring the right foot forward. Now, super, super important is that the foot, the right foot, has to be flexed. If I point this foot, I'm going to screw up my knee. So if you keep the foot flexed, you're actually lining up everything so that you can protect the knee a little bit, a lot of it. The leg that goes back needs to be straight and right behind you. So if it starts to get funky again, you're out of alignment. So you might even want to tuck the toes for a minute. Really make sure you're lined up before you drop down. Now, depending on how flexible or tight you are, this shin is going to be more or less parallel. So the tighter the hip is, the more you need to just kind of bring it into the body, okay? And then sink the hips to the ground. So, for those of you who have been in my classes, you know, this can be a difficult stretch for a lot of people. This can be some people's favorite stretch. A lot of our emotional stuff is kept in our hips. Also, the hips are an area that we only get flexibility when we relax, when we melt into them. Some of us love this. Again, for some of us, this is really, really difficult. And when we try to do these hip openers, we wind up tensing everything. So you have to be really aware of what your body's doing. And visualize, imagine, breathe any way that you can that helps you relax. So what you do before you come down is you line up, make sure everything's lined up, foot flexed, straight behind you, melting toward the ground, hips are trying to be even, shoulders are trying to be straight ahead. And you're going to inhale and get a little height. And when you exhale, you're going to try to keep that height and come down. Again, depending on flexibility, you might come to your fingertips, maybe your elbows, maybe all the way down. It may take you a couple breaths to come down. So on each exhale, you'll lower a little bit. On each inhale, you're subtly inhaling and feeling a little growth. You're visualizing the spine getting long, so you're growing tall out of the hips. The shoulders are sinking back away from the ears. So you come forward, and then the exhale lowers you. You keep that length and you lower down. So eventually maybe you'll come all the way down, arms will be extended. And you have to hold this for at least 20 or 30 seconds to really get some release. And when you're ready, after a good 20 or 30 seconds, if you want to bring it out, you'll bring the hands up, almost again like a pusher. Keep the chest connected to the thigh. And just twist, pressing to the ground. You're going to get a nice ring. Ring it out. And when you're ready to come up, you'll come back to neutral 2 ways. Either coming up slowly, or flipping the head, or any other way you want. And maybe you throw in a little upper body circle here. And then you're going to transition onto the other side. If you put some leg work in the middle, that's fine. If not, if you want to play with a flowy transition, you're going to roll out onto that same side that you're stretching, almost like a side arch down. Bring in that straight leg, roll onto the back. You're going to helicopter the legs by bending the knee of that opposite leg, the one that you're wanting to open. And that hip that you just opened, that leg is going to be nice and straight, and you're going to use that leg to helicopter yourself around. So you're going to shift the weight onto the left side. You're going to kind of roll onto that side. And sweep that leg all the way around. You're going to pull your torso up. And then you'll find yourself ready to do the hip opener on the other side. And then you'll just repeat on that side.